at that point?
Just like when it went off?
Yeah.
I was standing next to the cart with Nicole. We were probably talking, and I heard the shot go off, and I heard Joel scream. I didn't know they were even rehearsing anything. No one did. Dave didn't call it.
You already know this story. A revolver, a rehearsal, a church set outside Santa Fe, a cinematographer named Halyna Hutchins who did not go home. This video is not about the actor. It is about the woman whose voice you just heard, standing 20 feet away next to a cart, and about the 2 hours she spent in a sheriff's office that almost nobody has ever watched. Her name is Sarah Zachry. She was the prop master. Every gun on that set came out of a safe she had a code to. Every round of ammunition came in boxes she picked up herself. She is not a suspect. She is the person who knows where everything was. And roughly 90 minutes into this interview, without being asked, she volunteers this.
Like those W-rooms.
Okay. Those ones I actually did end up throwing away in a panic, and I wouldn't be able to tell you why.
Okay. Did you throw them on set or after?
On set.
Okay. Just in the trash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch how that lands. No pause before it. She says it the way you would mention you had put the kettle on. The word panic arrives inside a sentence that is otherwise completely flat. And watch the detective. She doesn't lean in. 2 questions, 11 words, and she moves on, because she is not going to spend her leverage in the first second she gets it. What follows is 2 hours of one person trying to reconstruct, honestly, where every single bullet had been. Halyna Hutchins was 42. She grew up on a Soviet military base inside the Arctic Circle, and she spent the rest of her life pointing cameras at light. On the morning of the 21st of October, she was inside a small wooden church at Bonanza Creek Ranch, working out a camera angle for a shot that would never be filmed. She had a husband and a 9-year-old son. Outside that church, a folding cart stood under a black tent with boxes of ammunition on top. Nobody was guarding it because nobody thought it needed guarding. On a film set, ammunition is not supposed to be dangerous. That is the entire premise the set was built on, and it had been wrong for days. Here is what happened, compressed. On the 21st of October 2021, during a rehearsal, a Colt revolver in Alec Baldwin's hand discharged a live round. It passed through Halyna Hutchins and struck the director, Joel Souza, in the shoulder. Hutchins died. Souza survived. The revolver had been declared cold. On this set, cold meant empty. It was not empty. 4 people handled that revolver in the hours before it fired. The armorer, Halyna Gutierrez-Reed, the first assistant director, Dave Halls, who took it off a cart and put it in Baldwin's hand. Baldwin himself, and the prop master, Sarah Zachry, who unlocked the safe it came out of. Zachry is the 4th name, and she is the one the public never learned. Her name surfaced in a leaked search warrant. She gave no interviews. She sat down twice with the sheriff's office and then went quiet for 2.5 years. Her position matters. She was the prop master, responsible for every object an actor touches, including firearms. But she was not the armorer. The armorer was Halyna Gutierrez-Reed, who was 24, on her 2nd film in the role, and simultaneously Zachry's prop assistant. So Zachry was Gutierrez-Reed's supervisor and her subordinate at the same time, above her on props, below her on weapons. Almost everything strange in the next 2 hours comes out of that. Before we go in, you need to know what the detective already has. First, the round pulled out of Joel Souza's shoulder was a live bullet. The casing was Starline brass, a component brand, sold empty, to people who assemble their own ammunition. Second, investigators recovered roughly 7 more live rounds from that set, inside a box on the cart, loose on the cart, inside gun belts, inside a bag, on a set where the number should have been 0. Third, the detective has photographs of the ammunition boxes with rounds still seated in their trays. Those trays show gaps. She knows which rounds are missing, and she is going to ask Zachry to explain the holes. Fourth, 2 suppliers put ammunition on this production. Seth Kenny's PDQ arm and prop supplied blanks, and 1 box of 45 long Colt dummies on the 12th of October. A second supplier, Billy Ray, supplied only .44 40s and 38 40s, the wrong caliber entirely. And fifth, the thing Zachry doesn't yet know she is walking toward. The detective is going to ask her, plainly, where the rounds went that she unloaded after the shooting. 13 minutes in, the detective asks her first real question. Listen to Zachry's baseline. Everything later gets measured against this.
How's everything been?
Not great.
No.
No. I mean, the initial shock wore off a couple weeks afterwards, but it's not been easy.
Yeah. Are you working again or not?
Not right now, no. I'm just not ready yet.
To go back. Are you gonna go back to doing the same stuff?
Maybe. I don't know. After, being in props isn't what I initially wanted to do. It just kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah. Didn't you say you were like going to school for something else, or you were doing something else?
Yeah, I mean, I had always wanted to do film, but I was also studying to be in medicine. And
Okay, that's what I thought, that you were trying to do something in healthcare.
Yeah, initially.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Short answers. She answers the question and stops. That is the baseline, and it holds, almost unbroken, for 2 hours. Now watch the detective read a witness her rights, and frame it so it doesn't freeze her.
Like I said, just because I'm asking, obviously, very specific stuff.
Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
No, did you ask me the same thing?
I had to read
Okay.
through them.
Okay. Well, no, you can read them, but do you think you understand them?
Yeah.
Okay, because you have certain constitutional protections.
Okay.
Okay? All right. I know you have nothing to hide, but it's my job to make sure you understand that, some people are like, hey, I've got nothing to hide, I didn't do anything, but I just do not want to talk. I do not want that to happen.
Mm.
Okay? You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure you are.
Like I said, if there's anything that you don't want to.
I know you have nothing to hide, but it's my job. That sentence does 2 things at once. It tells her she isn't the target, and it puts her on record as advised. Cooperation preserved, statement admissible. And Zachry never asks why. She just says yeah. What follows is nearly 40 minutes of the detective mapping the system. Who owned what? Who checked what? Start with the job.
That's how I ended up being a prop master, which was last year, a little over a year ago. I think it was in October.
Okay.
And then I just gradually kept making connections, and I stayed in the prop master position.
Okay. What does the prop master entail?
Basically, we're responsible for kind of breaking down the script first and seeing what all the actors physically hold, because that's what a prop is. It's anything that the actor holds or touches. So I break the script down, I make a list, and then I acquire all of those. And I learned from other prop masters that a lot of prop masters, they work behind the scenes, so they have a team on set who's running props, but I've always been on set helping with getting the props to the actors. And in this case, yeah, the guns are also considered props as well.
Okay.
That last clause is the industry's whole problem in one sentence. The guns are also considered props, not weapons. Same category as a coffee cup. And note the length. Ask her about herself, 4 words. Ask her about the job, a paragraph.
Do they, does that job require you to have any sort of certifications or anything?
No.
Or any formal training?
No, I mean, it's kind of just, I don't really, I mean, you need to train to understand what they do, but it's not formal training.
Okay. Did you work with guns?
Yeah, I worked on 2 other productions with guns.
Okay.
One, I was the actual armor, and then the other one, I was just an assistant, not an armor assistant. I was working in props, but they only had me work with fake guns.
Okay. And how did you learn how to work with guns?
I learned from Seth Kenny early this summer.
Okay. Is it early summer?
Or July.
Were both of those sets prior to this or after? When you were working with guns?
Prior.
Okay. So you didn't have any training before?
Before
The first time you worked with guns?
no.
Okay. How'd you learn?
Seth kind of just gave me a rundown of how to handle them, load them, show people when they're safe, and how to call things out to make everyone aware of what's on set. And
Okay.
Nail this down. No certification, no license, no formal training. She learned to handle live capable firearms in a rundown from the man who rented them out. And she says it with no defensiveness. In her world, that is simply how it worked. Nobody had ever told her it was strange.
let's go.
Okay. So how much did you handle the guns and ammo on Rust?
I mainly handled them when it's called a cold gun. So it was me helping Hannah out when they needed to be on set. So I would help hand them off to actors. And then on days that there was gun firing, I would assist Hannah with loading the guns and handing them off.
Okay.
I would assist Hannah with loading the guns. Mark that. The prop master, no certification, 1 summer of instruction, is loading firearms on a working film set alongside the armorer.
Okay. So who hired you for Rust?
Roe Walters.
And was that just through word of mouth?
Just over the phone, yeah.
Okay. Can you kind of tell me about, because, I mean, you're all independent contractors pretty much, right?
Mhm.
Not specifically, who do you work for then?
Well, I mean, we're hired by H Production, so I mean, yes, we're independent, but you're also working under the union. So, but you're hired by each production, and each project, that's like who you work for.
Okay. And so, but you're under Seth's license, right, for PDQ?
For that, yeah.
And what does that entail?
It just means that I'm allowed to work with the guns that he loans out to the productions.
Okay.
Hired over the phone, working under somebody else's license. A structure with no floor under it, described as completely normal.
So, with Rust, how many guns were brought onto that set?
I can't give you an actual number because I don't know the number, but I want to say maybe close to 25.
Do you have the invoices?
Mm-mm.
Would you like them?
Do you have them?
I do.
Yeah, that would be
I
great.
may actually have
That
them
would,
on my phone.
Yeah, we're looking into getting all that, and then obviously,
I can get you the invoices of the guns and the rounds.
okay, and that was the other one that we're looking into getting.
Find that.
So what's the process for, like, bringing all this on?
The detective asks for the invoices. Zachry offers them. Then the detective says she already has them. That was a test. Will she hand over the one document that could contradict her? She offered instantly.
Before
okay.
before taking them on to set.
Oh, got it. Okay. Well, in this case, Seth broke down the script, saw what was needed for each scene, each character,
Okay.
and so he put them aside, and then he kind of just dictated what amount of ammo we would need, what would be best, and he gave those off to me, and we put them in a safe, the guns.
Okay. So where did you pick them up from?
From PDQ Props office.
Okay. And that's in Albuquerque, right?
Yes.
We're coming to email you.
Oh,
That's the rounds from 2 different groups.
and do you know
So the supplier decides the ammunition quantity. Not the armorer, not the production. The man renting the guns.
PDQ?
126 Monroe Street.
I'm like,
Did you already send it?
No. Let me make sure I know my email address. Okay, so you picked them up from PDQ.
Yes.
Okay. Guns and ammo
Yes.
on the same day?
Yes.
And you and Hannah went together?
Yes.
Okay. And then, did they go directly up here from there, or?
They stayed with me, safe in my home. And then from there, when we had our presentation for, it was kind of like a show and tell before the filming started. That's when we took them to set and we put them on the safe that was in the truck.
Okay. Do you remember what day that was?
I believe it was, I want to say the 4th, October 4th.
Okay.
I think it was the Monday of the week of filming, first week of filming.
Yeah, because I think filming started on the 6th,
Yes.
according to call sheets.
Yeah, started on that Wednesday, yeah.
Do you have the call sheet for the day of the shoot?
Mm-hmm.
Or you have it?
All right.
25 firearms and hundreds of rounds spent a night at the prop master's house. She volunteers it. It doesn't occur to her that it might sound like anything. Start tracking this pattern because it runs the whole interview. Every point where the chain of custody could have been tightened, it wasn't. Not through malice, through the absence of anyone whose job it was to say no.
All right. Do you know how much ammo was supplied?
I don't.
Okay. If you had to guess. What did you pick up first day?
I know that he gave us a lot of quarter blanks. He didn't give us many dummies. That's what Hannah was concerned about. So I later had to go back for more dummies. I want to say, like over 900 rounds.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Initially?
Initially, yeah.
Do you know how many blanks were
I don't.
supplied? And then how was it, like, I guess, how did it look when you guys picked it up? What was it in? Was it?
It was in each, there's usually 50 rounds to a small box. And then all of those were inside a bigger white cardboard box.
Okay.
A couple different ones.
Okay. So the rounds themselves were in the white cardboard boxes?
Yeah, and then they were also in a bigger one.
Okay. And then,
Over 900 rounds. Small white boxes inside bigger white boxes, opened and reshuffled by 3 people across 16 days. Now listen to how the ammunition that eventually killed someone gets described as an afterthought in a subordinate clause.
none of the 45 long Colts.
Not that I'm aware of.
Is there ever any ammo that came from anyone else besides PDQ and Billy Ray?
Well, I know that Hannah brought gun belts that had dummies in them already, and she brought that giant green bin, I believe, that was in the truck. But I just don't know if she brought anything of her own in that. But I know that she had those dummy rounds in the gun belts, so those are the only ones I'm aware of.
Okay. Do you know what caliber those were?
No.
Do you know about how many there were?
No.
But she only brought dummies.
That part I don't know.
Okay. And do you know where she got them?
She had them from a prior production.
And is that what she told you?
No. I mean, I believe she just brought those from the production, so I just assume that that's where they were.
You don't know that.
Okay.
It could be her.
Ammunition arrived on this set that nobody signed for, nobody logged, and nobody knows the caliber of. It came from the armorer's own gun belts, from a previous job, in a green bin. And the prop master's honest answer is, I assumed. The word assumed about ammunition. Her attorney hears it and interrupts.
Know that.
Okay.
It could be her own from whatever.
Okay. So I just assume.
Okay, so I want you to be really careful when you're answering these questions.
Okay.
Because here's what human nature is. We want to answer, we want to help, and especially that's your nature. And in doing so, sometimes we'll think that we remember, but we may not actually remember. We think that we know, but we really don't know.
Okay.
So you got to be the guardian
So be
of your own gate,
precise.
okay?
Okay.
All right, be careful.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, if it's not something that like you know for sure, if it's not a fact, then it's okay to just say that.
Okay.
Totally fine.
Got it.
Okay. So who's in charge of safety?
Hannah and Dave and
That is the attorney, not the detective, the most revealing move in the first hour. He is telling her to stop being helpful because he can hear what she cannot. I assumed, and I believed, are the words that turn a witness into a defendant. And watch what she does. She says, okay, totally fine, got it, and answers the next question in 4 words with no hedging. The coaching didn't change her. Who's in charge of safety? Hannah and Dave, a 24-year-old on her second film and a first AD. The entire safety structure on a set with 25 firearms.
Dave and the stunt coordinator, which was Alan.
And what aspect of safety are each in charge of?
Just set safety in general, and specifically Hannah gun safety and Dave overall set, and with the stunt coordinator stunts.
Okay. I know you've had some previous experience like on other sets. Do you know what a safety bulletin is?
Yeah.
Okay, can you kind of describe it to me?
The safety bulletin just kind of goes over like the protocols. There's different ones. So for example, there's the one that is specifically for weapons.
Okay.
And then I think there's other ones for like, different wranglers and stuff like that, and lighting equipment and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Did you ever see any for arrest?
No.
Never?
No.
How did you get like distribution of like the call sheets and stuff like
By
that?
email.
By email?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever seen safety bulletins before?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just kind of like an industry-wide example of them. And so you never saw anything like this with
No.
Rust?
No.
Okay. Who's in
The industry has a written safety bulletin for firearms. It is standard. The detective is holding a copy across the table. The prop master of Rust had never seen it. Not once, in 16 days. The detective now runs the same question through different doors. Call sheets, safety meetings, training days. She wants to see whether the answers stay the same when the door changes.
who's in charge of distributing
Distributing.
the call sheets?
The second AD.
And that is
Tim Barrera, I think is his name.
and how would he distribute them?
Email.
Do you still have those threads?
Yes.
Okay. And then none of these were attached to them?
No.
Did you ever see anything pertaining to safety on the call sheets?
Not that I read over. I mean, for the main part, when it came to each call sheet, we would just look at the general things that, was for that day, and then we would just go.
Okay. But you never saw anything really, like dealing with the horses or dealing with firearms or anything else, any protocols that they put out?
I don't think so.
Okay. What about safety meetings?
We had a few safety meetings, specifically when there was a lot of movement going on or gunfire. I think in total we had 2 or 3.
During the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if there was a safety?
2 or 3 safety meetings in 16 days on a production with guns on set every day.
Do you know if there was a safety meeting on the day of the incident?
I don't remember there being one.
Who usually put on these safety meetings?
Dave.
And what would he talk about during them?
He would
Do
just
you remember like the main points of them?
main points was just like going over what to watch out for. And any time that we had gunfire, he would just mainly tell us to make sure to protect our eyes and ears. And then with the movement, it would mainly be talking about horses coming through and just watching out for them, watching your pack and everything.
Okay. So pretty much just firearms and horses.
Yeah, that was the main concern
And
Occasionally
then how often
rattlesnakes.
would you say the horses were worked with?
every day.
Every day?
Mhm.
What about the guns?
Every day, just not live gunfire every day.
Okay.
But they were almost always with the actors holstered with nothing in them.
Okay. How many days of live fire was there?
No safety meeting on the day of the shooting. The man who ran them was Dave Halls, the same man who would later take a revolver off a cart and hand it to Baldwin, holstered with nothing in them. She says it flatly, as a fact about the production. That is the assumption that will fail.
So who teaches as far as like gun safety? Is Hannah the only one that does that, or does anybody else do it?
Hannah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever attend one of her like training sessions or anything?
Yes.
Can you tell me about it?
So there was one, I think it was the day, no, it was the same day as the show and tell. And a bunch of our actors came. He taught them how to do quick draw, was telling them, or showing them, or giving them an option of what to wear for the gun belts, just because they had to be adjusted properly for them, and kind of told them what they would mainly be shooting, and was just having them practice with blanks, and then some of them practice with like their shotguns, and then the other training day was with Alec Baldwin. I think the second day that he was around, and they were practicing up by the church. I wasn't personally there initially. I came over to later during his training to help him figure out how to wear his holster and his knife sheath.
Okay. Did you ever do like a class?
Notice how much detail she has on objects. Gun belts, holsters, adjustment. Now watch what happens when the question turns to safety in that same session.
Did you ever do like a class or anything, or go over, for us we call them like general safety rules with firearms and things like that?
During like our first meeting, I remember her talking about like general safety rules with the firearms, but I mean I wouldn't be able to remember everything that she said.
And that's okay. So on your guys' show and tell day, did you help with that?
I did.
Okay. Did you help show the actors how to use the guns?
No.
Okay. Did you load any of them for them to practice?
No.
Okay. So it was all Hannah that was pretty much doing it?
Yeah.
So what did you do at that time then?
At the time, I was just standing by to watch. That was it.
Okay.
I didn't technically have to be there. I think I was waiting for, we were waiting for our truck to come over because that's when we were going to put the safe on there. So I was waiting for that.
Okay. Got it. Did you witness when she was training, did they do, I hate to call it live ammo, but like
Just like real bullet.
practice with, like the blanks?
Yeah, just blanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no live ammo though? Actual live ammo?
No.
Okay. Did you ever hear anybody voice any safety concerns at this time?
No.
Did you see anything that shouted out unsafe to you?
No.
What about, not just that day, but during the entire...
6 consecutive one-word answers. No, 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 no. The shortest run of replies in the whole interview. The detective doesn't push. She widens the question. From that day to the whole production. Watch what falls out.
not just that day, but during the entire production.
No. I don't know, is that a good time to talk about my misfire.
No one's keeping a secret.
It's not that much of a secret.
Okay, I kind of figured that was out.
Oh,
I haven't asked about it anyway, so if you want to talk about it.
Well, I mean, it'd be like unsafe, but I mean, it was an accident, and it, you know, I always, if I'm helping out, I always do it in a safe manner, and it was pointing at the ground, and it doesn't have a projectile, so no one got hurt.
Why don't you back up for me and kind of tell me what happened with it?
Yeah, so that day we had 3 guns on set, and, you know, we typically were moving at a kind of fast pace, so I was helping Hannah with the guns, and so I was reloading after one of the takes. I was reloading a character. His name is Ike. I was reloading his Colt, and he just had quarter load blanks in his, so he had 6 rounds. And so I took those out, and after they were discharged in the scene, and then I was putting in 6 new ones. And with a Colt, the hammer, or like it's kind of weird to load it. So after I close the loading gate, you have to pull the hammer back all the way while simultaneously pulling the trigger, and then kind of release both slowly. And the hammer slipped from my thumb, and it discharged too quick.
Okay.
She brought that up herself. Nobody asked. The detective says so out loud. I haven't asked about it anyway. And listen to the order. Before she describes what happened, she front-loads 5 mitigations. It was an accident. I always do it in a safe manner. It was pointing at the ground. No projectile. No one got hurt. Then the story. That ordering tells you she has told this before, and it didn't go well. The substance, the prop master, discharged a firearm accidentally 5 days before Halyna Hutchins died. Watch what happened next, or rather, what didn't.
And
You understand
then,
how that goes, right? So you're pulling it back, you're trying to,
I'm so not a revolver person, so
well, yeah.
yeah,
Because
I
when
mean,
you're pulling
anything.
it back, you're feeling releasing the trigger and the hammer to the cocked safety position.
Mhm.
If it gets to your finger, it hits primer.
I mean, it sounds like it's pretty easy for
It happens.
it.
Not a bunch, but it happens.
And so I like people were there, they knew what happened, and then I apologized to the crew, and then I proceeded to tell Seth. I told the production designer. I told Ro, so that way everyone was just kind of aware of what happened. But also, literally like 5 minutes after that happened, the stunt double accidentally discharged the Henry rifle. I don't know how, because he was inside of a cabin. No one else was in there. But yeah, it discharged somehow.
Okay.
But she did self-report.
Okay. And you reported it to, you said Seth, Ro, and who else?
The production designer, Brian
Do you know his last name?
Norvell, I think.
And then how did you report this to them?
I just texted them.
Okay. You still have those text messages?
I do.
Awesome. And then what was the outcome of it after you reported it to them?
They just said okay or copy.
And that was it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, like, incident report done, no paperwork filled out,
No.
anything. What about with the other accident?
2 accidental discharges of real firearms, 5 minutes apart, on a working film set. She reported hers by text message. The entire institutional response was, in her words, okay or copy. No incident report, no paperwork, no stand down. 5 days later, a live round would leave a revolver on the same property and kill somebody.
That's just what I think. I just remember hearing it explode.
Okay. Do you know, what day was your accidental discharge?
I believe on October 16th.
Okay. And who was around when it happened?
I was off to the side away from others, but my other assistant, Nicole, was there, and then she was standing next to me, and then one of the special effects guys named Baldwin.
Okay. So not too many people.
No.
The detective has a date, a witness list, and a text trail for an incident she never had to ask about. That is what patience buys you. Now she turns to physical security. The safe, the truck, the lock. This is where the case actually lives.
No.
Alright. As far as the safes that you guys use to store the guns, who locks it when you guys aren't using?
Who locks it when we're not using it?
Well, if you're not like, you don't leave it open, right?
No. I mean,
So who's in charge of making sure it's locked?
Either me, Hannah, or Nicole.
Okay.
Not just supplement your questions, but maybe you can explain to her the protocol of the safe. When it's open, why it's open, when it's open, what happens after it's open. Just take it through.
Yeah, it has a keypad on it, and so you type in the code to open it. You take out the guns that you need, we put them on our cart, and then we lock it up right away. We never left it open.
Okay. And then the prop truck?
Yeah.
Who is in charge of that prop truck?
It's leased under the production, but it's watched over by...
Hold on, Robert. What do you mean by who's in charge?
So, these trucks are, I don't know if you've been on a set before, but there's these big,
Someone.
it's not a set, it's smaller, it's kind of like bigger than a moving van, but
It's just like 40 feet.
yeah, it's pretty big, but that's where they keep all their stuff.
Mhm.
So, the safe, ammo, the cart, so I think is who's in charge of making sure that truck is secured and locked and...
So that would be...
The only reason I was asking.
We never left it open. That claim about the guns holds up. The guns were locked. The ammunition is a completely different story.
On them, unless if, the Teamster would lock it up after we left.
Okay. Who was the Teamster?
I don't know his name.
What do you look like?
Hispanic, dark hair, older. I don't remember a whole lot about him.
So, did this truck get locked up at the end of every day?
I don't know, because they would sometimes move them to different locations, and I don't know if they locked them up after we left. But we would close the doors and the tailgate, but I don't know if they were ever locked.
Okay. Can you recall a morning that you guys came in at the start of shift and it was locked and you had to wait for somebody to unlock it?
No.
Okay.
Only when I went back after everything had happened.
And that's when it was locked up.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Read that precisely. She cannot recall a single morning when the prop truck was locked. The only time she found it locked was after Halyna Hutchins was dead. And she doesn't flinch. She doesn't seem to have registered that the answer is remarkable.
As far as the guns go, when you put them into the safe, are they checked for ammo?
We always unload them before they're put in the safe.
Okay. And that's during lunch too?
Yeah.
So every gun is unloaded before it goes in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so whose job is it, when they're going back into the safe, whose job is it to check and make sure that they're unloaded?
I'm usually Hannah.
Okay. What do you mean usually, Hannah?
I would help her, but it's part of Hannah's job as an armorer.
Do you ever do any of the safety checks with the guns?
Yes.
What about safety checks with the ammo? I know there's a specific way that you guys have to check that they're dummies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you kind of go over that with me?
Yeah, so the easiest way to tell if it's a dummy is you rattle it and you hear a BB inside, so it means there's no gunpowder. And I just learned this on this set, but some of them that don't rattle, they sometimes have holes on the side of them. And that's how you tell if it's a dummy.
Okay. Who loads the guns?
Who loads? Both me and Hannah.
That is the safety system. Shake a bullet next to your ear. If it rattles, it's a dummy. If it doesn't, look for a hole in the side. That is the entire method standing between a film crew and a live round. And catch the clause, I just learned this on this set. The prop master learned the second half of the check during rust, not before it.
Who loads? Both me and Hannah.
Did Nicole ever load?
No.
And then who loads all the ammo into like the prop belts, like the bandoliers and stuff?
Hannah.
You or Hannah?
But they were already loaded, so we never really had to load any into them.
Okay. But they fall out of there, right?
Not real. I mean, Hannah said that they sometimes do, but they seemed like they were pretty snug, so I never saw any fall out or never found any just lying on the ground.
Okay. Did you ever have to load any into the belts?
I think I had to just place one or two at one point, but that was it.
Okay.
I think it was just for, no, I don't remember whose bill it was. It was just like a couple miscellaneous ones where we'd have to realign them on the belt.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
just to make it look more full.
So when ammo's not being used or it needs to be like placed back somewhere, where does it go?
It goes back inside the prop truck.
Inside the truck?
Yeah.
Just loose?
I mean, still in their boxes, in the green bin or those cardboard boxes, or they would be stored inside Hannah's ammo bag.
Okay. Is that the are you talking about like the actual like carrying bags or
She had this like black, it was like a mini duffel bag, and she would put ammo in that boxes of them.
Okay. So let's say if you guys
6 containers. White boxes inside bigger white boxes. A green bin. Gun belts. A duffel bag. A fanny pack. No log, no count, no signature. 3 people moving between all of them.
loaded guns, where would you pull ammo from?
From those boxes.
Were they on the cart or in the truck?
It was kind of initially from the truck, but then she had them in that bag, and we'd usually pull from that bag. And she also had some in her fanny pack, and so the bag and the fanny pack is where we would get them from usually after the initial when we first pulled them from the truck on like our first shooting day, and then we had them in her bag.
Okay. So would you carry the bag around, or would it be on that cart?
I think Hannah left it on the cart.
Okay. So you're always pulling from there, though? Or did you load in the truck?
We would, I think, just from the cart.
Okay. So you leave the bag pretty much just on there full time?
Yeah, I mean, Hannah decided to pull from. I mean, and then she would just put that on top of the cart, and that's what we would use.
Okay. So is it yours and her responsibility to check each round then?
It's not like we don't both have to check it. It's just if one of us is going to load a gun, it's going to be our responsibility to check that gun.
Okay. And then what guns did you work with on set?
Worked with Jensen's, Swen's, and his name is Travis Hammer. And those.
It's not like we don't both have to check it. A double negative around a responsibility. A duty shared so loosely, it never quite belonged to anybody. Whoever loads, checks. Which means the rule only works if you can always say who loaded. Hold that for 20 minutes.
Hammer. And those were the only ones I really worked with.
Okay. And what kind of guns were they?
They were Colts, and then Jensen also had a shotgun. And then the only time I dealt with Alec's gun was the day before, and it was cold, and he had to like toss it off to the side on a blanket, and that was the only time.
The day before what?
The day before the incident.
Okay. And that's the only time that you had worked with his gun?
Yes.
Okay. Do you load dummies and blanks? Or
I only load dummies when Hannah wants dummies. Otherwise, I don't load anything into it. And then blanks is when it's just gonna be when we're gonna have a actual, gunfight.
okay. But you would load it for actors of both?
Yeah.
Okay. at the end of the day, where do you guys store the ammo?
In those boxes in the prop truck, and then I don't remember. I think Hannah left her bag on the cart, and the cart would go back in the truck as well.
Okay. So everything would get put back into boxes. So pretty much you guys can essentially reuse rounds.
Reuse. I mean, you can't reuse blanks, but you can reuse dummies. But
Well, that's what I mean. As far as, like, sometimes they'd go in a box and then those might come out of a box and then get put back in a box.
Yeah.
Do you have a system to not getting rounds mixed up?
I mean, the boxes are labeled with like the caliber, and so we would usually put them back. Otherwise, there was also dummies that Hannah had in her fanny pack that she would keep in there as well.
Okay. Just thinking of those. When you guys, so if you
Do you have a system to not get rounds mixed up? The whole investigation is built around that question. The answer: the boxes have the caliber on them. That is the system. The only thing keeping the categories apart is a label and a person's ear.
guys, so if you put them back in, did you guys just have boxes, like just the cardboard boxes on that cart? Or did you keep that bag on top?
The black ammo bag?
Yeah.
That one was normally stored on the bottom.
On the bottom?
Yeah.
And is it secured?
No.
What about, where's ammo stored during lunch?
In the truck.
In the truck?
Or sometimes in the truck, and I know that Hannah has left it out a couple times on the cart. A couple times we would take the cart back to the truck, and there were other days I think that we did leave it out on set away from everyone.
Okay. What's the protocol for that?
I don't think it really is a protocol. Okay. Just because, I mean, it's movie ammo, so there's not really supposed to be any danger with it. But, I mean, obviously it says here that it can kill, but no one has access to the firearms or anything.
Okay. Who all has the code for that safe?
Just
It's movie ammo, so there's not really supposed to be any danger with it. That sentence is the entire tragedy. Not a lie, a belief. The guns were locked in a safe. The ammunition was left on a cart while everybody went to lunch. And note the correction. Obviously it says here they can kill. She is reading it off a document the detective just put in front of her.
The code for that safe.
just me, Hannah, and Nicole.
Alright. Who has access to the prop truck?
Me, Hannah, Nicole, and the prop truck driver.
Okay.
The
Was it
assistant
shared?
director doesn't?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You're right.
I've never seen the assistant director get on our truck.
Does he have access?
I mean, it kind of depends on what you mean by access, like allowed or just can hop on whenever. Like, as in, you know, it's not locked, so anyone could get on, I guess.
Okay.
But the prop truck driver is there watching over it, and so,
And he's there all day?
and so me, Hannah, and Nicole should have been the only ones that had access to it.
It's not shared with any other departments?
It was originally shared with locations, but after like the first or second day, it was just ours because they took off their stuff.
Okay. And what did they have in it?
Like chairs. And, but then we had our director's chairs. They pulled off some other chairs that I'm not sure what they were for.
So you say it's common to have loose ammunition out
I mean,
where anybody can pretty much get it, right?
I'm not sure. When I worked with the other movie, I only had a small amount of ammo that was stored inside of a locked box. But with this amount of ammo, Hannah didn't say what we were supposed to do with it, and so she was fine with leaving it out. So I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Hannah didn't say what we were supposed to do with it, so I thought it was okay. She had worked a production where the ammunition was in a locked box. She knew a stricter version existed, and she deferred to the 24-year-old armorer, who was also her own assistant.
Okay. Don't you kind of work above Hannah, though?
Only in props, not armor.
Okay. So she's kind of her own...
Armory and props are two separate departments. The only reason that I was like her supervisor was because she was my props assistant.
Okay. So as far as the guns go,
She calls the shots.
okay.
The wranglers are in charge of the horses. She's in charge of the saddles.
And the blankets and the
Everything that goes on.
Yeah, pretty much. So who all used the props cart then?
It's the props cart.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Nicole, and Hannah.
All right. Nobody else had access or would use it at any point.
No.
As far as your gun experience, have you ever shot a real gun?
No.
Never?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. You, Hannah, and Nicole are the ones who have a card. But that doesn't mean somebody else couldn't have access to the prop card. I mean, it's just sitting there, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're usually watching over it, so no one would have reason to use it.
2 lines of authority on paper. In practice, none. Nobody could overrule Hannah on weapons. Hannah reported to Sarah on everything else. A structure like that fails quietly, over 16 days, with everybody assuming the other person had it. Before moving to the day itself, the attorney moves. A cart nobody else could reach is a cart she is responsible for, so he wants that narrowed.
Did you ever find random stuff on it at all that didn't belong to anything that you guys were doing?
But it's sitting there. I'm sorry. But it's sitting there. You guys are standing there. Somebody else could be standing next to it too. I mean, you're not precluded from standing next to the prop card.
Yeah,
It's not like a 5-meter radius around there.
No,
It's just
it was just always the line of sight.
the line of sight. Somebody else could be just standing there.
I mean, they would only be standing there if they were talking with us. Otherwise,
Exactly.
people, didn't, just stand next to it for no reason.
Stand next to the card, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody's talking to you or
Yeah,
hanging out
they're-
waiting for a scene.
They're right there next to it.
Yeah, it's at the scene. People are at the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So
Sorry.
no, you're good. Incident day.
The attorney offers her a free alternative. Anyone could have been standing there, and she declines. She corrects him. People didn't stand there for no reason. Then the detective says 2 words. Incident day. Everything after this is the 21st of October.
Incident day. Let's start at the beginning. So what time did the day start that day?
6:30.
6:30? Okay. What guns were brought out in the morning?
In the morning, it was just guns for Jensen, Swen, and Travis, and they each had Colts, and then they each had long barrel guns, and that were pulled in their scabbards on their horses.
Okay. So how many would you say were pulled out?
6.
6?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, 7, because one of them has 2 holstered ones.
Were any of them loaded?
No, they were all cold.
And by cold, do you mean empty or cold with dummies?
Empty.
Okay. And those are the only ones pulled out in the morning?
In the morning, yeah. Well, I guess we did move to the church later in the morning towards lunchtime,
Okay.
and that's when Alec's gun got added in too.
Okay, so his got pulled out later.
Yes.
So then there was an 8th gun.
Yes.
And loaded or
Cold means empty. Not checked, not safe. Empty. When Dave Halls later shouted cold gun, that is what everyone in the church understood.
loaded or empty?
Hannah had loaded it with dummies.
Did you watch her?
No,
How do you know that they were loaded with dummies?
because she asked Nicole for a box of dummies.
Okay. And Nicole went and got the box.
Yeah.
Where did she pull the box from?
From the truck.
Did you watch her?
No, I didn't go with her.
Where were you?
I was still outside of the church.
Okay. And then were all those guns, all the other guns still present at that time too?
Not his got put back because he didn't come back for the scene.
Okay. And was that just a pistol?
He had two Colts
Okay.
and a shotgun.
So 3 of them were put away before.
Or yeah, or a rifle.
Okay. And so Alec's gun was loaded with dummies prior to lunch.
2 questions. Did you watch her? No. Did you watch her? No. Same words, 20 seconds apart, about 2 different women. Zachry's knowledge that Baldwin's revolver contained dummies is entirely secondhand. She heard Hannah ask Nicole for a box. She did not see the box. She inferred it. And now watch her do something a person constructing a story almost never does.
Yes, because, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Do you know who handed Alec the gun at that time?
Oh, wait. Okay, so the box of, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. So the box of dummies were, initially we didn't have, and so, sorry, I'm trying to get my words straight. Alec's gun was Colt because it was holstered. In that scene, his character and and our 15-year-old actor, they were helping each other get into the church because Alec was wounded. So his gun was holstered and he didn't have anything in it. So I don't think Hannah did load it before lunch.
Okay. But you don't know.
I guess I should say I don't know.
Okay.
No, that's a great answer. This is all that happened, but I can't be certain.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right. So then what happened with all
She just reversed herself. Out loud, mid-answer, unprompted. She had said the revolver was loaded with dummies before lunch. Now she says it wasn't. Then goes further and says she doesn't know either way. And the detective says, that's a great answer. She is rewarding the retraction, teaching the witness that I don't know is safe in this room, because a witness who feels safe saying that gives you cleaner information. Second time in this interview, a person has told Sarah it's fine not to know. Her lawyer at 29 minutes. The detective now, both hear the same thing. She keeps trying to be more helpful than her memory allows.
and with all these guns when you guys broke for lunch?
We took them back to the safe.
Who's we?
Me, Hannah, and Nicole.
Okay. And how did you transport them to the safe?
In their socks, in our hands.
Okay. So the cart didn't go back?
No.
Where was the cart at the time?
At the church, outside of the church.
Okay.
The guns went back to the locked safe. The cart stayed outside the church, and on top of it were the ammunition boxes. This is the hour that matters. 12:30 to 1:20 on the 21st of October. Every person on the production is at lunch. The guns are locked, and the ammunition is sitting outside, on a folding cart with nobody near it.
5 or 6, because I know we still had a couple of the long barrel shotguns.
Okay. But it took all 3 of you to carry them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very good to just carry a pile of guns in your hands.
Right. Who took Alec's gun?
I don't know.
Okay. What, I mean, remember, but the...
Well, Hannah took it, but I don't know if she put it in a sock and gave it to one of us, or if she took it back herself, but she did take the gun from Alec.
Okay. Off of him, at least.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened?
Out of the truck on the inside, and we hang them on it.
Okay. All right. What time did you guys break for lunch?
12:30,
And what time did you come back?
close to 1:20.
And during that lunch period, did the 3 of you eat together?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys were all together that entire time?
Yes.
All right. Who took the guns out of the safe after lunch?
I did.
You took all of them out?
Yes.
Okay. How many were pulled out?
Let's see here. 6.
Who took the guns out of the safe after lunch? I did. That is the sentence that put Zachry's name in a search warrant and made her the 4th person to handle the weapon. She answers in 2 words, without hesitation, having just been told twice that she is allowed to say she doesn't know. Now the detective walks her through the loading. Watch her method for choosing rounds. It's about to matter.
The 2 are fake.
2 are fake, yes.
Where were the fake ones?
Just on the card.
Okay. 2 on Swin, 3 on Travis, but they never went with him, right?
No.
Which was the one that you forgot?
I forgot Swin's. I forgot his Colt.
Okay. What did you take out for him?
He wasn't on set yet. So he didn't have a gun yet.
Okay. So all these are on the card.
Yeah, except Jensen. Jensen had one, and that's all at the time. Or here, let me be more specific with this. So Swen, I gave one to Swen because Swen and Jensen have the same Colt. It's a matching pair.
So they're just like U.S. Marshal ones? Okay.
And I gave one to Swen first. It had dummies, but the way that I always do dummies is I take previous ones that we've used that are indented, because that's how I know if it's a dummy after it's already been checked.
What do you mean indented?
The primer.
Okay.
So that way I know it's been used and it's in there. And then I took it.
Her personal method. A dummy that has already been in a gun carries a dent in the primer. If dented, it fired nothing, so it isn't live. She reuses the dented ones because their history proves what they are. It is a smarter check than shaking a bullet next to your ear. And in 40 minutes, she'll tell the detective the armorer specifically told her to stop.
I took it to Dave. I showed him the rounds on the inside, and then I took it to Swen, showed it to him. But then I saw Jensen, and I thought maybe he was going to be up first because he was kind of standing outside the church. It looked like he was waiting to go in. So I told Nicole, this was also when I realized that I forgot one of the other guns because I needed a gun for Jensen at first. So then I told Nicole that since Swen was just sitting down under the tent, that the gun only had dummies and it's already been checked by me, Swen, and Dave to just go ahead and give that gun to Jensen. And so I told them I was going to go back, them as in Nicole and Hannah, I was going to go back to get the other Marshall gun so that way Swen would have one. And Hannah, at the time, that's when she said, cool, I'm going to go check this gun Alec's gun with Dave.
Okay. So
technically,
Count the hands. Sarah loads. Sarah shows Dave. Sarah shows Sven. Sarah tells Nicole to give it to Jensen. Nicole carries it. Meanwhile, Hannah announces she is taking Alec's revolver into the church. 4 crew members, 3 guns, 1 cart, about 10 minutes. Somewhere inside that window, a live .45 went into a revolver, and nobody in this story saw it.
so technically only Jensen and Alec would have had a gun.
and you loaded one.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the one so you loaded it, showed it to a couple of people, gave it to Nicole, and then Nicole gave it to him.
We gave it to Swen, and then Nicole went and took it to Jensen.
He took it from Swen, then went and delivered it to Jensen.
Yes.
Correct.
Who gave it to Jensen?
Nicole.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Nicole gave it to him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. Were any other guns loaded at that time?
Well, I mean, I guess Alex was loaded if she was checking it with Dave.
Okay. Did you see her loaded?
No.
Okay. But, I mean, you guys keep all your stuff in the same area, right?
Yeah.
And all the guns were brought out?
Well, yeah, but they were in the socks. Except for those 2 that were pulled out already.
What do you mean, which 2?
Alex and Jensen's.
Okay.
Third time. Did you see her load it? No. Now the detective stops moving forward. She has the sequence, the hands, the objects, and she puts it as an observation, not an accusation, which is far harder to answer.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. Like, did she not load it at the same time you were loading? Do you guys not all stay together?
I mean,
I mean,
we're
you guys all
kind
took
of,
the guns to the cart.
yeah, and we're always going in different directions. But Nicole is usually just like by the cart, but Hannah would do her thing, and I would just do mine. But I don't remember loading it with her.
Okay. I guess in my mind it's kind of weird how nobody saw this gun get loaded.
Well,
Or
is it possible?
if you guys keep all your materials on one cart.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But if you had loaded Jensen's gun or Swynn's gun, whatever, that first gun 1st, then you go take it to Dave to review.
Yeah.
During that time, Hannah could have been loading the other gun while you weren't there at the cart.
I mean, it's possible.
Okay. Where was Dave when you had him check the gun?
Inside the church.
Okay.
In my mind, it's kind of weird how nobody saw this gun get loaded. That is the closest thing to confrontation in the first 90 minutes, and it is aimed at a fact, not a person. Zachry doesn't defend herself. She starts to offer a possibility and lets the detective finish the sentence for her. The reconstruction they land on together is the only one that fits. While Sarah was walking a loaded gun into the church, the cart was behind her, and Hannah was somewhere near it.
The church.
Okay. And then where was Jensen and Swinn and all them?
Jensen was outside, and Swinn was sitting down under the tent
Outside the church.
outside the church.
Directly outside the church.
I mean, where this black tent is,
And that's why you thought he was going to be next to be in the scene.
because Jensen was standing like right here.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. And so, but your cart was still here
Yes.
when you came back. Okay. Do you know where Hannah was?
At what point in time?
Where was she when you were loading?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you know where she was when you took the gun to Dave? Okay. So if you left the cart, who was watching the cart?
Nicole.
And she stayed there the entire time?
Yeah.
Okay. What time would you say that you loaded that gun?
Like 1:30, 1:35. Oh.
So pretty close after.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
After they
1:30, 1:35. Hold that. The shot is fired at 1:41. Now the attorney takes over the timeline. Watch what he's building and who it helps.
after they came back from lunch.
So they left lunch. You're gonna hate me. So they left lunch. You said about 1:20. You guys were left lunch, right? So you go into the prop truck, open up the safe, you hand out the guns to everybody. And they're carrying the guns, and the prop cart's already up there, right? And the prop cart's already up there with ammo on it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's been up there, the ammo on it.
Yeah.
During lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe just, was it up there before lunch?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it up there during the entire course of the day?
Not the entire course, because we started out in the western town.
That's what I thought. At what point did it go from the western town up to the church, the prop cart, with the ammo on it?
When we were moving up there for the next scene.
When was that?
I don't know.
Prior to lunch or after lunch?
Prior to lunch.
Prior to lunch. Lunch was at 12:30. Was it before 11:30?
Yes.
Okay. So was it before 10:30?
I don't
know. Okay. So it was somewhere around 11:30 to 10:30. We know that one with the ammo gets moved up to the church, right? It's a prop cart with the ammo up there. It's unattended because there's no guns there, right?
At lunch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean,
Every question narrows to the same conclusion. The ammunition cart sat unattended, in the open, for roughly 3 hours before the shooting. If the cart was unguarded for 3 hours, the question of who put a live round in a box stops being a question about the 3 people in the props department. And Zachry agrees with every step, because it is true, and she has been describing exactly this all afternoon.
unattended during a portion of time.
Right.
Can I ask you a couple other questions?
Yeah.
So that morning, there was a crew that walked off, correct? And they were walked
It was
off.
the day prior.
It was the day prior.
I thought
It
it
was
was the morning of.
Did you watch them walk off?
I thought they just came and got their stuff in the morning, is what I heard from Lane in the interview.
Right. Again, you didn't witness though, right?
Yeah.
So
Thank you. So I didn't know.
it was the day before. There was like one person that came the next day to pick up some equipment, and that was about it. But they were never unattended. Notes.
Huh?
The notes.
And there's the second half of his theory. Hours before the shooting, part of the camera crew walked off over working conditions. He wants that on tape. But watch her again. He asks about the walk-off. She corrects the day and volunteers that the departing crew were never left unattended. Second free explanation from her own lawyer. Declined.
Huh?
The notes.
Yes, yes.
What about the belts
What about?
after lunch?
We would have taken them back too.
Would have or you did?
We did. Alec kept his though. He kept his over lunch. He had his holster and his knife sheath.
He kept it on him.
Just not the gun.
Okay. Kind of interesting.
He didn't want to take it off, is what Hannah said, and so she just said that he would just keep it for lunch and come back.
Okay. When you guys came back up the hill with everything, did you notice anyone in the tent area, buy it, anything of the sort?
I don't remember.
Okay. So pretty much all of Alec's stuff was already on him.
Just the
So-
gear that would hold things. Yeah.
Okay.
The gun belts stayed with the actor through lunch. Gun belts on this production had dummy rounds seated in the loops, including, as investigators found, at least one live round.
All right. Did you ever handle Alec's gun after lunch?
No.
Do you know which gun was his?
Yes.
Can you describe it to me?
It was like our other Colts. It's just it had a 7.5-inch barrel, so it was a lot more distinguished just because it was longer.
Okay.
It looked like the U.S. Marshals, but it just didn't have the same engraving on it.
Okay. What color was it?
It was.
She can describe that revolver down to the barrel length. She simply never touched it after lunch. Now she rebuilds the cart from memory, from what people did to what was physically sitting there.
On it. Okay. Can you recall the setup of the cart and what was on it?
I mean, like when we got there, or I saw Hannah's bag on the bottom. I had a couple of miscellaneous items, like my gloves and an old headset that we had. I think our, what's it called, our preliminary call sheet for the next day on it.
How many boxes of ammo were on the top?
I don't remember how many.
Did you say more than one?
I would say more than one, but I'm not sure. Because I can only recall that box that I looked at after the incident.
Okay. But you loaded a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
From gun belts. I took some out of their cartridges.
so you loaded that gun belt ammo, not a box?
No. They were from we had a gun belt that we took ammo from. It was a miscellaneous gun belt, I believe. And it had like these brassy rounds that I pulled.
Okay. And that's what you loaded Jensen's with?
Yeah.
All right.
The rounds that went into Jensen's gun didn't come out of a box. They came out of a loose gun belt on the cart. Nobody knows where that belt's ammunition originally came from. I can only recall that box that I looked at after the incident. A person telling you the truth about the limits of her own memory. 98 minutes in, the detective finally takes them to the shot itself. Nothing in the way she asks it signals what is coming.
With. All right. So where were you when the shot went off?
I was outside the church.
About where?
Next to my cart.
You were at the cart. Okay. Can you tell me what you remember at that point?
Just like when it went off.
Yeah.
I was standing next to the cart with Nicole. We were probably talking, and I heard the shot go off, and I heard Joel scream. I didn't know they were even rehearsing anything. No one did. Dave didn't call it. I was kind of just out loud asking, what was that? And I was just, asking if it was a...
I heard the shot go off, and I heard Joel scream. She heard the survivor cry out. She did not at that point know Halyna Hutchins had been hit. Nobody had called action. Nobody had called cut. It was a camera rehearsal. A shot in that context makes no sense, which is why her first reaction was to ask if it was even a gun.
I was just, asking if it was a gun. People thought it was a special effects popper. They said, no, it was Alec's gun. I didn't know Alec even had his gun yet. I thought Hannah might have still had it. And I ran over to Jensen, and because he was peering inside the church. We were around, like, right here. And I looked and I saw Joel on the ground clutching his shoulder. I didn't know Halyna was hit. I didn't even see her. And Jensen told me to grab all the guns or to secure them. And I did that, put them in their socks. I ran back. And I made a phone call to Seth at one point, told him what happened, and I saw,
Read that carefully. She saw Joel on the ground clutching his shoulder. She did not see Halyna. Halyna was already down. Her first two actions, secure the other guns, because Jensen, an actor with firearms training, tells her to. Then call Seth Kenny, not the police, the man who supplied the guns. And note, she did not yet know a live round had been fired. She only knew a gun had gone off. Her instinct, in shock, was to call the supplier.
I saw, but when the gunshot went off, that's when I all of a sudden saw Hannah in front of it. She turned around and she said, "This wasn't supposed to happen. My whole career is ruined." And then the next time I saw her, she was checking the gun with Dave, next to the church, on this side of the church. And then she was having a meltdown, and the production designer was clutching onto her. I went over to her. She showed me the rounds, and she said, "I swear I checked."
You went over to who?
Went over to Hannah and the production designer. And she showed me the rounds, and she said, I saw them. And she had all 6 rounds in her hand, and I saw that one of them didn't have the lead wadding on top. And so I took that, and I went over to the cart because I had a suspicion of...
This wasn't supposed to happen. My whole career is ruined. Those are the first words Sarah says she heard from the armorer, standing in front of a church where a woman had just been shot. Not "is she alive, my career is ruined." Sarah delivers it without editorial. She isn't adding contempt. She is telling you what she heard. And now watch what she does next. It answers every question the detective will spend the next hour trying to nail down.
Suspicion of what happened, or not what happened, but just, like to see if there was any other live rounds from the box that she pulled. And so I started shaking the rounds, and I found a few more in it.
Okay. So she handed you these.
No, I took the casing without the lead wadding.
Okay. So what happened with the other ones?
I thought Hannah had them.
Okay. Did you see where she put them?
No.
So you only took the one out of,
Just the one that didn't have the lid on it.
why did you only take the one?
Because I just grabbed that one to go compare it to the rest.
Okay.
And I saw that it had a silver primer, and then I saw in the box that it was a bunch of mixed primers, and that the other silver primers, I think, from what I remember, they were live rounds too.
Okay. And how do you know that?
Within minutes of the shot, Sarah walked to the ammunition box, shook the rounds inside, and found live cartridges mixed in with the dummies. She noticed something the detective will spend the next hour pressing her on. The live rounds and the dummies had a visual difference. The live ones had silver primers, and she volunteered it. Nobody made her look in the box. She had a suspicion. She looked. She found. She knows something crucial about the ammunition, and she is telling the detective on the record. Now the interview turns. The detective stops asking Sarah to describe things and starts pushing back on what she is saying. The tone stays warm, but the questions have edges now.
And how do you know that?
Because they didn't rattle.
And where did you put them after you checked them?
I put them back in the box.
In the box?
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't see what Hannah did with those other 5?
No.
But you know you counted 6?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see what happened with the gun after?
No. I thought Hannah still had it, but I don't. Or maybe you took it. I don't remember what happened with it. It was we either took it. I don't remember taking it.
Okay.
6 rounds came out of the revolver. Sarah looked at one, the odd one, without the wadding, and put it back in the box. She never saw where the other 5 went. And she doesn't guess. 3rd or 4th time in this interview, she has taken the safe answer over the helpful one.
I don't remember taking it.
Okay. So what happened with all the other 9 guns?
They got put back in the safe. I was originally carrying it back with Nicole and our art director, Daniel. He was helping us because Hannah was off on, with Brian. And halfway over, Brian called me and asked me if I could get Hannah's, her fanny pack. And so Nicole and Daniel took the rest of the guns that I had, put it back in the safe, and I took her fanny pack over to her.
Okay.
She was somewhere down in the town.
Who?
The production designer calls Sarah and asks her to bring the armorer's fanny pack, which by Sarah's earlier testimony contained dummy rounds, down to Hannah.
After I had checked the box, yeah.
Okay. So where were all these guns at that point?
They were not still in the crib. They were just in their socks.
On the top or bottom?
Both.
Okay. So they were kind of spread out all over that cart.
Yeah.
Okay. And you took every single gun?
From what I remember, yes.
Okay. Did you watch Hannah transport that gun into the church?
I saw her walk with it when she told me that she was going to check it with Dave.
Okay.
But that was it. I never saw her until after the incident after that.
Okay. Did anybody else have possession of that gun?
Not that I'm aware of. I had heard about this weird handoff that happened while I was down at the prop truck.
I had heard about this weird handoff. This is the first time in the interview she tells the detective there is another version and she wasn't there for it.
Down at the prop truck.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
This is you heard this after the incident.
yeah, this is what I heard after the incident. A few days later was that Hannah brought the gun back to Nicole and asked her to hand it off to Alec. Nicole didn't know if it was checked or what was loaded in it, so she put it on the cart. And then I also heard that Dave grabbed it off the cart, and so I don't know what happened.
But you saw Hannah walk in with it.
Yes.
Okay. And did you watch them do the safety check together?
No, because I was on my way to the prop truck.
Okay. Did you see Hannah do any check with that gun?
No.
And who brought it out of the church after the incident?
I'm not sure. The next time I saw it, I just saw Hannah and Dave off inside the church.
The crucial handoff. Hannah brings the revolver back out, asks Nicole to hand it to Alec. Nicole, who doesn't know what's in it, sets it on the cart. Dave picks it up. Dave puts it in Baldwin's hand. The chain of custody, at the moment it matters most, collapses into rumor. Sarah heard it later. She wasn't there.
I just saw Hannah and Dave off inside the church checking it.
Okay. Can you describe what each of those rounds looked like when Hannah was showing you?
They were a little more. They were not. I don't remember them being that brassy. They looked a little aged. And I saw 5 of them with the wadding on top, and then 1 that didn't.
Okay.
When you say wadding, do you mean
Projectile.
the projectile?
But it's not supposed to be a projectile because it's supposed to be inert.
So you guys called that wadding because this is not a projectile because it's a dummy round. Okay.
And I mean, they're all iron caps on them. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
they're all the same product. It's not like you could put them on a live round and they would still be a projectile that was fully functioning.
Gotcha.
Just they have gunpowder in it.
Right.
Okay.
You know, and this is more all the rumors that
6 rounds from the revolver. 5 had the fake cap dummies use. 1 did not. The one without was Liv. Sarah saw it. Sarah picked it out. That is the round that killed Halyna Hutchins. She could see the difference by looking, which means the person who loaded that revolver either did not look or did look and missed it.
this is more all the rumors that are flying around. Target shooting on set was live round.
I haven't heard that. I mean, I have heard it, but I never witnessed anything like that. No one said anything. I just was sent a text message from another prop master in town who had heard that she and other people were targeted.
She being Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah.
Was this after the incident that you heard that though?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was like midnight when I received that text, and it was either the night of the incident or the night after. I don't remember which one.
Okay, but nothing prior.
No.
To your knowledge, were those guns ever moved out or taken out or anything of the sort? I mean, there's 3 of you with the code to
Yeah.
save.
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, there was, and I'm just wondering if people are talking about when Alec was practicing or with the guns when she was training him.
The target shooting rumor. Investigators later found evidence pointing to production firearms being used off-set for recreational shooting. Sarah didn't witness it and hadn't heard of it before the night of the shooting, but she brought it up. She is now volunteering information that hurts the armorer, not in a spiteful register. She thinks the detective should know.
She was training him. That's the only time I know when she wasn't on set during filming and she was off training him.
But
the
not
keypad is an electronic keypad, right?
Yeah.
And so, any chance the electronic keypad has been removed by you guys to see if you can determine?
it's not like that fancy of a safe.
It's not going to keep a record of how many times.
It's not that.
I mean, and the only other time you could hear gunshots outside of filming was like the National Guard, is what we were told, because we all heard a bunch of shooting.
Okay. But Hannah never told you, hey, I'm gonna go out this weekend and
No.
takes a couple people out and, you know.
We have a text that you need to know about.
No, yeah. When I had heard about this, and I talked to Seth, he sent me a text that he had from Hannah back in August.
On a previous set about her asking to go.
Okay, so you already have it. Never mind.
Just want to be transparent. Okay?
Yeah. But Nothing from rust.
No.
Okay. That's
Seth Kenny forwarded her a text from Hannah on the previous production in August, asking to go target shooting with production firearms. Sarah has the text. She kept it. She is offering it to the detective without being asked. Now the detective drops the question that finally makes this interview turn.
more, the concern. So it's after you check these rounds that everything was taken back then.
Yes.
And it was after EMT and everybody else got there.
2.
And which 2 are they?
Jensen and Swin.
Okay. And they're both the Marshall ones.
Yes.
Okay. Were they both loaded?
With dummies, yes.
Did you unload them before?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, where did you put those dummy rounds?
Can I talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those ones I actually did end up throwing away in a panic, and I wouldn't be able to tell you why.
Okay. Did you throw them on set or after?
On set.
Okay. Just in the trash?
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is again, in full. She threw ammunition into a trash can in the hours after Halyna Hutchins died. Ammunition that had come out of 2 of the guns on the cart. If it contained more live rounds, it was potential evidence. And she volunteers it. The detective didn't ask about the 2 Marshall revolvers. Sarah brought them up in a subordinate clause and delivered the disposal like an aside. Sarah later testified, under oath, that she was in a state of shock and panic, that it was a reactive decision, that she didn't think it mattered because they were not the rounds in question. Those explanations came later. In this room, she gives the detective nothing more than, "I wouldn't be able to tell you why." What follows is the longest sustained stretch of tension in the interview. The detective now has the box and photographs, and she spends the next 20 minutes asking Sarah to explain gaps in it. The questions get quieter as the pictures get closer.
But you checked those ones.
Yes.
And you pulled them out of the belt.
Yes.
For both guns.
Yes.
Okay. The box of ammo that was being used to load guns. Do you remember what it looked like?
The one that was used for Alec's gun, it was just a standard white box.
Have any distinguishing markings? Did it say anything on it?
When I saw it, I didn't see the label. Nicole described the label to me after a few days later from what she saw, but I think it was on the bottom side when I was looking at it because I didn't see it.
On the bottom?
Like on the, when it's laying down, like I see the top side, but I think it might have been on the bottom or
Like
on
when the lid is taken off and the lid is laid down.
yeah, or like on, I don't remember, I don't know where it was. It was.
She never saw the label on the outside of the box. Nicole described it to her days later. Neither person in the room reacts. They are both still climbing toward the box itself.
Boxes were on the top of that cart?
I don't.
Okay, but how many? I mean, you went through one box, right? Just after the incident?
Yeah.
Were there any others? How did you know to go through that box?
Because I knew that was the box that Hannah had used. Because she specifically asked Nicole for that box. I saw this separate box right there.
Okay. So this is the one that was handed.
Okay.
Would you say it looks like what you saw?
Yeah. I didn't do label no, but that's the label that Nicole described to me.
Okay.
But yeah,
But as far as setup, because this, it's pretty distinguishable when you have random ones missing out of places.
There should be a couple more from what I remember. There was a couple more with silver primers.
Okay. And you pulled them out, but where did you put them back in here? Or where did they go after you?
I should have put them back on there, or if I didn't, I might have just left them on the cart.
Okay.
She specifically asked for that box. Sarah is telling the detective that Hannah Gutierrez-Reed directed her to use that specific box, the one with the mix of dummies and live rounds, for the loading that day. Sarah doesn't know what happened to the other live rounds she pulled out. She might have put them back. She might have left them on the cart. She doesn't remember. The detective shows her a photograph of the box with rounds still in the tray, and the tray shows empty slots. She knows which slots were empty. She wants Sarah to explain them.
So here's another view of that box.
Is there a reason why these ones are missing?
That's what I'm here to ask you,
Okay.
because you have been pulling out to check out of here.
Mhm.
Did you pull them all individually? Like, do you remember which ones were missing?
I never pulled past like this point.
Okay. Did you take the whole thing out though?
No, I only slid it, at that point, and I checked random ones.
Okay. So these could have been gone.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. So these are on the top of the cart.
Okay. And what caliber is this?
They're 45 Colts.
Or 45. Okay.
Um,
So then those could have been the couple that I might have not put back in then. Could have been there.
okay. Because they also have, these are suspected life.
Okay.
Okay.
That would make sense because I saw about this amount and thought they were live.
3 total.
3.
3 rounds. On top of the cart, silver primers, suspected live. Sarah recognizes them. Those are the ones she pulled out of the box in the minutes after the shooting. Read her answer. That's what I'm here to ask you. Dry, without defiance. She is genuinely asking. She wants the detective to tell her because Sarah can't remember all of it either.
What caliber is it? It's 45 Colts.
I don't get it. She said that we didn't have 45s. And we unloaded his belt beforehand, but she said that we didn't have any, and that's why she wanted more. Or why she wanted.
Well, there's a lot of 45 Colt.
As far as I know, we only had 2, so I don't know how 2 boxes. Well, the first one, the one that was pulled from, I didn't know we had, she randomly found, but then there was the other one from Seth Kenny, but I don't even know if she knew about that box.
What do you mean randomly found?
That morning, she says she found a box of 45 long Colt dummies on the safe, and she, was shocked and was like, wow, 45 long Colts, and that's what she told me. And so she was pretty happy about that, and then told Nicole later to go get it from the prop truck.
That is Sarah reporting what Hannah said on the morning of the shooting, that she randomly found a box of 45 long Colt dummies on the safe, that she was shocked and happy, that she sent Nicole to retrieve it. A box of ammunition, of the caliber they were short on, in the caliber of the gun that would kill Halyna Hutchins, appears on the safe that morning, and the armorer's reaction, according to Sarah, is delight. The detective now shows Sarah photographs of that box, a white cardboard box with gaffer's tape on it. Someone had written on it in Sharpie.
Get it from the prop truck.
Okay. Have you seen that box before?
No.
This was another, and I believe this one was a suspected live. I think it's like separated.
These all came from this box?
Mhm.
Well, this matches the box that Seth described that put gaffer's tape and wrote on it with Sharpie.
These are the
So wait,
bag.
there's 2 boxes with live rounds now?
They're everywhere. I mean, they're in that box. There's one in another box. Like I said, there's those ones on the carts. There's ones in belts. I think we have 7 total. Don't take my word, but I think about 7 total.
7 live rounds, on a movie set, scattered across boxes, belts, and a cart. Sarah's count in that room, weeks before the FBI's report, was correct. And she doesn't say she counted this box. She has never seen it before. That specific box, the one Hannah found, Sarah cannot place.
Because you need 4 rounds there, not 3.
So I guess tell me about this mysterious box that showed up. I mean, how many boxes did you guys have before? The dummies.
I don't know how many we had. It would be on the invoice. But I know that Hannah was complaining that we didn't have any 45 long Colts and she needed more dummies. So I think it was on October 12th is when I picked up from Seth.
Do you remember what that box looked like?
It was another white cardboard box.
Okay.
He didn't give us much. He gave us extra half loads. And then I didn't remember or know that he gave us a box of 45 long Colts. And then he told me afterwards, he was like, remember I gave you this and this is how I remember that I gave you this. And then
October 12th, 9 days before the shooting. Sarah picked up a box of ammunition from Kenny that included 45 long Colt dummies she didn't remember taking until Kenny called her later to remind her.
I remember that I gave you this. And then,
So that could have been from him.
I mean, it doesn't match the description of the one that Hannah used doesn't match the description that Seth gave me. His was the one with the gaffer's tape that was written in Sharpie.
But he provided more than one box.
And not of dummies. He provided the half-loaded blanks.
But
And
didn't you have to go back for dummies?
I went to, so he gave me one, but then I went to Billy Ray for dummies. Those like 2 or 3 boxes I told you about.
Okay. And those were all 45 one Colt.
No, they were 44 40s.
Okay.
And 38 40s.
38 40s?
So
So
no
it was-
45 long Colts at all.
Not
Not on the
that
invoice.
I
Then you have
Sarah tells the detective, definitively, neither supplier sent 45 long Colt dummies matching the specific box Hannah found on the safe that morning. The box that fed the revolver that killed Halyna Hutchins does not match the shipping records of the people who were supposed to be the only source of ammunition on the property, which means a box arrived from a source nobody has been able to trace.
Whole time that you guys.
No, I mean, things got moved around a lot. It was a lot more organized, but as we were running around, things got kind of chaotic.
Okay. But you always locked the guns up in the safe.
Yes.
So
Hannah had that out the day of.
the day of what?
The day of the incident. Something didn't fit, and she said it was okay if one stayed out.
What do you mean something didn't? Like it didn't fit in the safe?
Yeah,
Or-
it fit in the safe. It's just we had so many guns in here that we had to take one out, and she said that it was okay to have one out, and I didn't question her because she was more experienced than I was in armor.
Okay. I mean, I would say that's not safe practice. And, you know.
On the day of the shooting, at least one revolver did not go back in the safe over lunch. Sarah says Hannah told her it was fine. I didn't question her, because she was more experienced than I was. That is the line the disaster is built on. A prop master without the standing to question an armorer's decisions, even when the decision was to leave a firearm out of the safe.
So, I mean, how do you think these got in this?
I don't know, when I talked to Nicole afterwards, she said that it was stacked in, like, along with other boxes inside one of the white boxes, so, but,
That you originally picked up? Or,
I mean, it could have been the one, it sounds like it came from, because she picked it up on the left side of the safe, and those two were the initial ones that Hannah got from Seth. When she went with me, she took the ammo and I took the guns. And then the other box that I picked up, that right side of the safe, was the one I picked up later. So that's on the right side.
On Sarah's understanding, the mystery box may have traveled from Kenny's shop on the 12th of October, hidden inside a larger box, arriving on set without anybody registering it.
There should have been 2 on the left side and 1 on the right side. But it's just kind of weird to me because Hannah said she found it in the safe, but then Nicole found the box stacked inside the white cardboard box. So.
But she said that she pulled it from the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And this was after Hannah told her to go get it.
Yeah, she said there's a box of 45 long Colts in the truck and wanted Nicole to go get it.
Well, why did she need, I mean, you guys were pulling from the belts though.
I don't know, she was.
There's a box of 45 dummies, Nicole. Go get it. That is Sarah's quote of Hannah on the morning of the shooting. The armorer directs the second assistant to fetch a specific box the prop master does not recall receiving.
I don't know, she was very specific about what she wanted to use. Like, I personally like using big indented primers because that's how I know that something's been inert and has already been, used. And when she saw me doing that one time, she didn't like that I did that. She said that she always uses new ones. And so same with the 45 long Colt, she said that the other ones just didn't fit as properly and that she wanted 45 long Colt.
Okay. Did she ever mention any issues she was having with Alec's gun?
Circle back. Sarah's personal method for identifying dummies was to reuse the ones already fired empty, the ones carrying a dent. It was a genuine safety improvement. It made a live round nearly impossible to mistake for a dummy because it hadn't been through a gun yet. The armorer, Sarah is now telling the detective, told her to stop.
Gun? The day of the incident?
No. Not that I recall. I know she was having trouble with a different gun, but we sent that back to Seth and he fixed it.
Okay. Did you ever see Hannah do anything unsafe or that seemed unsafe with these guns? Did she seem...
I mean, the only thing that I kind of questioned was when she was willing to. I wasn't, around this when it happened, but I remember she was pulling a full load, and I don't know who asked for it, but someone asked for a full load to scare the horse, to make.
92 minutes in, the detective asks directly whether Sarah ever saw Hannah do anything unsafe. Sarah has one thing to offer, and it's a big one. A full load blank near a horse.
Yeah, when our stunt rider was riding on a horse and he was supposed to get shot, he's supposed to fall off and they wanted the horse to keep going. So she allowed them to use a full load. And I was told to never shoot a full load near a horse. And that was the only time.
Is there anything else that points out to you with, anything that went on?
I mean, there were the accidental discharges that were reported. I mean, at least mine was, I reported it, but by Hannah, there was nothing else that I thought was really unsafe. And Alec and Joel both were telling her she was doing a great job and that they felt safe. So I didn't really question her.
Okay.
Alec and Joel both were telling her she was doing a great job and that they felt safe. Joel was the man who took the bullet through the shoulder. Alec was the man holding the gun. In the days before the shooting, both were reassuring the armorer. Sarah did not question her, because they didn't.
So that's why, it's kind of, hard for me to figure out what came where because everything was so messed with after the incident.
I apologize about that.
Yeah. if you ever end up in a situation again.
I know. I wasn't really thinking of this becoming a case at that point in time. It was more just shock and just reacting.
Question. To some degree, bullet.
I wasn't really thinking of this becoming a case at that point. Her apology, unprompted, for the state of her memory, and for the ammunition she threw away. She was thinking of it as a person who had died at work. The interview runs 20 minutes more. The detective clarifies. The attorney floats theories. Sarah answers when she can. 2 exchanges stand out before the end.
In the rounds that you checked, though, for all your 6 rounds for Jensen and Swin, you had indented rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You're sure of that?
But that's kind of where I'm confused, because if you're pulling out of belts, there'd be a lot more empty spaces in those belts.
Well, I only pulled out about 12, but I know I took some of the belts back.
Back to
The truck.
Well, I'll have to go through the photos of all the belts, but it didn't seem like there was that many that had that many empty spaces in them.
Okay. I mean, I know that there were a couple on the cart too that I grabbed that had indents.
Okay. And you unloaded these guns prior to putting them back in the safe?
Yes.
And where did you put those rounds?
Those rounds I threw away.
Oh yeah, those are the ones you threw away.
Yeah.
Did you recover them?
No, we didn't go through trashes.
The detective circles back. Sarah repeats it without softening. She threw them away. Nobody has been through the trash.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at right now. And it's really the only thing making sense as to, I mean, if these were, like I said, if they're Winchester rounds, we might be sitting in a different spot. But they're not. They're obviously the ones that somebody made.
They're made with casings that had to come from, I mean, I know it's still an assumption, but all comes from PDQ. So sometime PDQ was making live rounds. All the 45s are thrown into a big bin. They pull from those bins thinking they're all dummies, not realizing that somebody had thrown some live rounds in there. They get thrown into the boxes. They just don't get picked up right. And it just happens to be, I mean, it is a confluence of one thing after another, but it's more plausible in my mind than somebody trying to plant the Jason.
The detective's working theory, out loud. The live rounds probably came out of PDQ arm and prop, not through malice, through a mixing error in a bin. Bad luck compounding until it killed somebody. Investigators spent the next 2.5 years trying to prove or disprove it. Kenny denied ever sending a live round. Prosecutors argued the rounds traced to Gutierrez-Reed. And in the middle of the actor's trial, a bag of ammunition turned up logged under the wrong case number, collapsing the entire prosecution in a single day.
You know, some people are intelligent, but I don't really figure there's.
I actually do have a couple questions because I haven't gotten any clarity on this. So it's been confirmed that Dave handed Alec the gun.
So here's the thing is, we go off of statements of everyone. That's all I can do is, I take your statement and that's what I write down.
Okay.
And then we work off of evidence. And whereas, obviously this wasn't it was a live round.
Yeah.
That's evidence. So as far as everything goes, as far as statements, is that Dave handed off the gun.
Yeah. That in of itself was not the correct protocol. But I just didn't understand how he had the gun. So I just didn't know how he came.
Sarah has been asking the detective a question. She wants to know if it has been confirmed Dave Halls handed Baldwin the gun, because that violates the protocol as she understands it.
I just didn't know how he came in possession.
You know what the protocol is, right? Armor hands it AD.
No, he doesn't hand it to AD.
She shows it.
Shows it.
Shows it, thank you. Shows it. He clears or he checks. Boom. Looks good. She then has not released the weapon at all. And then she hands it to the actor.
But is that written protocol?
That may be industry custom.
So-
As far as I'm aware, it's just I've never like
It's common practice.
yeah.
But
But Dave has never he never called because usually if he needed a gun he would call for it on the radio, or he would usually just call for Hannah but he never before that would take a gun from us. So I was just very confused why all of a sudden he had a gun. So that was it.
Any other questions? You said you had a couple more questions.
I already asked them. Oh, just
Sarah has just described the protocol that was violated. The armorer shows, the AD checks, the armorer never releases, the armorer hands it to the actor. That did not happen. Dave Halls picked the revolver off the cart. Dave Halls handed it to Baldwin. Halls would later plead no contest to negligent handling of a firearm.
I asked them. Oh, just if you got it off the cart, that was the other one. But I don't know about that one.
well, I mean, you gotta think there was not a lot of timing in between. But I mean, you saw Hannah take the gun,
Yeah, and then
so
I was gone after that, yeah.
like between you guys came back at 1:30, there was maybe 11 minutes,
Did they
maybe.
what was the time when the incident happened?
We got the call at 1:41.
Wow. You guys were moving quick. Wow.
So that's
More
what I'm
time's
saying.
money in the industry. Have you
1:41, 21 minutes after they came back from lunch. 6 minutes, at most, after Sarah loaded the gun she loaded. Something happened in those minutes in the church, and nobody who was there is in the interview room now to say what. Wow. Sarah's response to hearing the exact minute, not a rehearsed line, a small, tired sound.
no?
So, I'm sure he would be, I just don't, like I said, there's a lot of stuff I'll be transparent with this in, like, how I asked you about the DNA. I've asked everybody for a download of their phones. But, a phone is something where if you delete stuff, I'm gonna find it. We have the tools to do that. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, like, you can't change your DNA. You can change what's in the vicinity of places. So,
That is the detective telling Sarah, and, through her, the lawyer sitting next to her, that if anything has been deleted off any phone in this case, forensics will find it. It is the closest thing to a threat in this entire 2-hour interview, and it is delivered as a courtesy.
so I can't do, like I said, if you deleted stuff on your phone, it's gonna show.
Yeah, I didn't delete it.
Well, just saying that's why it has to be full extraction.
Got it.
There's only one way to do it.
It's not like pick and choose.
No, it's
I think-
it's the nuclear option, but it's one way to do it. But go ahead.
I think I just have some photos from every now and again that I deleted, but nothing. I mean, some pertain to Russ, but more of just things that I was done with, so I just deleted them because I didn't need it on my phone anymore.
Right. Which is fine. It's not, like I said, it's not that big of a deal unless you're like, hey, I made these rounds and
No, I'm fine if you go through my phone.
You consent to it?
I'm fine with it.
so
A full extraction, the nuclear option. Sarah agrees to it without her lawyer objecting.
not mine. I'm like,
Well, you've been wonderful about coordinating, being patient with us. Thank you so much, and being
thank
as
you guys for
transparent as you
coming in.
possibly can, because really it helps her so much with peace of mind. What's going on? where am I in this thing? What's happening? You know, and what happened? Because she cares. You know, and she's gone through a lot of the nightmares and a little PTSD from the whole thing because somebody got killed.
Right.
Right. You know, virtually right from her. So I think today may help a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, answer some questions and stuff. So thanks. Appreciate that. Good.
That is the attorney. The final words on the recording, on his side of the table, are about his client's nightmares and her post-traumatic stress. Somebody got killed. Right. Sarah Zachry, who has spent over 2 hours answering questions in as much detail as her memory allows, does not speak again on the recording. Here is what happened after that door closed. In October 2022, prosecutors approached Sarah Zachry with a cooperation agreement. In October 2023, she signed it. In exchange for testifying truthfully, she was given immunity from any charge, including the disposal of the rounds she had described in this room. In February 2024, she took the witness stand at Halyna Gutierrez-Reed's involuntary manslaughter trial. She testified for 2 days. She repeated, under oath, that she threw the rounds away in a state of shock. She testified that she had wanted to fire Gutierrez-Reed from her prop assistant job before the shooting. In text messages read at trial, she wrote of Gutierrez-Reed, "I hope she's put in jail." Halyna Gutierrez-Reed was convicted of involuntary manslaughter in March 2024. She was sentenced to 18 months. She served the full sentence and was released in May 2025. Dave Halls pleaded no contest to negligent handling of a firearm and completed 6 months of unsupervised probation. Alec Baldwin's trial began in July 2024. 3 days in, Judge Mary Marlowe Summer dismissed the case with prejudice after finding that prosecutors had intentionally withheld evidence, a bag of live rounds turned in by a retired police officer and logged under the wrong case number. Baldwin cannot be charged with this again. Sarah Zachry was never criminally charged. In a separate civil case brought by the on-set medic, she was ordered to pay $1.15 million in a partial settlement after her original attorney missed a filing deadline. The question of where the live rounds came from has never been definitively answered. Halyna Hutchins was 42. The interview you have been watching lasted 2 hours and 16 minutes. If it changed anything about how you understand what happened on that ranch, subscribing means you'll see the next one.